Welcome back to Thailand ChitChat. Today we have the Hua Hin Report with Richard Buckle of Surf 102.5. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Any comments, provide some comments, or if there's something in particular you'd like us to approach, discuss, just let us know. So, let's get on. So Richard, as I always say, what's happening down in Hua Hin?
It's getting hot. The weather is fantastic. The air quality has been really shocking, and the winds are coming in off the coast now, so that's also helped with the air quality here. So yeah, Hua Hin's good. Getting a little more busy as well.
Right, so it's funny you say about the weather. You know, it's always been said that Songkran is the hottest time of the year, but after being here, I've been here a long time. I've been here 36 years. What have you found is getting hotter earlier in the year. So February, early March seems to be the hottest time, and April is when it starts raining for Songkran.
Well, I think you might be right. Maybe the whole thing's moving forward a little bit. So yeah, it is feeling really hot nowadays. In fact, I took a little walk into Blueport just yesterday because I felt it was too hot to go running around and walking around where I live. So I walked down to the mall and did some exercise down there. And there were loads of people. I mean, the place was packed. Just people trying to keep cool in the shopping mall.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've just had the long weekend. Of course, Saturday was a non-drinking day. So I think that was from midnight to midnight, Friday midnight to Saturday midnight. Yeah. So it was not non-drinking. But so everybody else went and got all their beer and stuff and had a barbecue at home on the Saturday instead of going to the pub or the restaurant. So anyway, so if you want to have a drink, you can still have a drink. You just had to get it the day before. Planning, yeah. So
there you go.
And there's a big movement on that just now with the alcohol laws, where you can't buy alcohol between 2 and 5, which affects pubs, 7-Elevens, etc. Yeah. So they're trying to change that, and so there was an article someone said where foreigners could drink. Well, wait a minute, you can't just say foreigners can drink, but the Thai cannot drink. Yeah, I mean that's just wrong. So once again, it's into this labyrinth of discussion, of what changes there could be. So we'll just as ever we'll just see what happens. So for the weekend, for that long weekend, was Hua Hin chock-a-block as it normally is for a long weekend?
Yeah, it's been very busy all weekend. In fact, it's actually been busy for the past few weeks, really. You may recall about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had the Muay Thai Festival, which was at the Rajapakti Park. That was incredible. They had 5,000 soldiers there and Muay Thai participants. They had traditional Thai dance. The Prime Minister attended briefly. And it was a great display of Muay Thai traditional, lots of color, vibrancy. And they had an incredibly spectacular light show made up of drones over this huge park area. And what is really fabulous about this kind of thing compared to, say, many other countries is you can just drive in. It's big enough so everybody can park. And you go in there free of charge. There's no cost for parking or anything. And you just enjoy and mix with everybody. And it was a great, fun celebration, really, of Muay Thai and everything, local. So I think, the people that organized that did a great job and, really brought that whole park area, which is huge. They brought it to life. And it was just fantastic. That was a couple of weeks ago.
Was it well attended? Was it very well attended?
Oh, thousands. Yes. Yeah, loads and loads of people. Yeah. Anybody could just go in, and they did, because it's a massive area. Well, since last weekend, which was the Mahabukja Buddhist weekend, really, since then, and this week, we've got the Red Cross Fair, which is just behind Blueport on Sloan 102. This is fantastic. Again, it's bigger than before. They got a Ferris wheel in there. They got thousands of food stalls, so people eating and drinking all over the place. And it's undercover a little bit undercover, tents and canopies. And it's very colorful. The colorful fluorescent lighting
Yes, all the
locals
temples.
seem to have everywhere around the temples. Yeah, well, this place was covered with it. It was just fantastic. And we went there last night, actually. Family went there. And my kids, they have bumper cars there, real bumper cars like you get back in the West and in America. That's the first time I've really seen these really quite nice ones. And my kids jumped in there and had a great time driving around doing that.
Did they have some driving lessons there or something like that, just to get people used to how to drive?
Well, I think it's all mixed in one, really. But in fact, they had so many cars and so many people they could hardly move without crashing into something or whatever. Yeah. But it was great fun. Fantastic. So that was a lot of fun. They had a little electric train going around in circles there. Stuff for kids, stuff for grown-ups. The Red Cross were there, raising money for Red Cross, where you could buy a little ticket and then go and pull out a winning prize out of a pool. So that kind of thing was good.
It was a one-day thing? Was it a one-day thing, or is it the activity is going to be continuing through the week?
It's all week, for the whole week. Started last weekend and it's running every day this week. So well worth going down just behind Blueport, Sloy 102. Check it out from around 5 o'clock in the evening. Really good. Taking place this weekend, I've got to read my notes. It's the 1st till the 3rd of March. It's the National Kiteboarding and Wingfoil Championships taking place just down in Prambury. Now, you're right. You might remember this young kiddie, about 8 or 9 years old. In fact, he was 8 years old. And he came here a few weeks ago to attempt to cross the Gulf of Thailand by, basically kiteboarding across. Foil boarding is the technical name. He and his dad came down. They tried it a couple of times. And finally, they set off. I went down there and watched them set off in the afternoon. And the conditions were just right. And it was amazing. They wingfoiled across the Gulf of Thailand, around just over 100 kilometers, 66 miles, and they ended up on Jomtien Beach, just south of Pattaya. And they did it in about 4 hours.
Wow.
So that made the kiddie, his name is Shane, so he's the youngest person to ever foilboard across or windsurf across the Gulf of Thailand. So they succeeded. And they're coming back this weekend to take part in the National Kiteboarding and Windfoiling Championships. Prambury, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be spectacular down at Prambury or Paknam Pram along the beach area there.
That sounds fantastic. All right, so
it is.
I'm not sure if I could actually stay in a kiteboard or not. I did try and stand in one of these sort of I don't know what you call them. When you row, you stand up and you row. I think I lasted about 10 seconds and that was it. And I was off. Here. It was more difficult getting back on the damn thing than it was actually staying on it. It was a nightmare, like a beach tweel.
Right. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. Sorry, there's one other piece of news taking place this week, and that is Banyan Golf Course.
Yes,
they rebranded the course. And they've changed the name. It's no longer Banyan Golf Course. Do you know the name?
Pineapple.
Yeah, it's the Pineapple Golf Course. Because, the whole of Prachuap Khiri is filled with pineapples.
That's so right. I think Dole Company, one of their major areas for this region, is they grow pineapples down there. Yeah, a massive area for growing pineapples.
That's right. Oh, the whole place is covered just outside of my moo barn here. Pineapples everywhere. Oh. So it's great.
Now, no scrumping now.
I mean, it's a bit of unusual.
No scrumping.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Scrumping is actually stealing apples.
Anyway. Yeah. So you shouldn't steal the pineapples. That's right. So they've rebranded it. We'll see how that goes over the next few weeks.
Okay. All right. So just some other news that I had a look at, which is about the US Navy and Thai Navy cooperated in recovering the HTMS Sukhothai nameplate. Now, this was a ship a naval ship which sank in the Gulf of Thailand in December 2022. Sadly, some people lost their lives. So anyway, in respect, which I must admit is good, it's taken a bit of time, but on the 23rd of February, they had a second dive, which resulted them recovering the nameplate. Now, I must admit, the first impression was you spent so much money in going to get a nameplate, right? Admittedly, this is respect to the people, so good for that. But this is going to take about 19 days to recover the ship, and the reason for it is there is military equipment and hazardous material on there for them to recover, and also to pay respect to the families. Now, hazardous material, I first thought was, well, why would you leave it for 2 years well, not 2 years, right. one year to go and get hazardous material? And also, the Gulf of Thailand is not actually that deep. It's not a deep sea.
Correct.
That's why you don't get big winds, and you get big winds, but you haven't had any tsunami or anything else in the Gulf of Thailand. That was on the other side. That was on the Phuket side.
No, you don't. No, it gets very choppy sometimes, but that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah. So anyway, they're going ahead with that, and they'd initially allocated 90 million baht for the salvage operation, but they couldn't find anyone who was qualified to do it. So now they're getting the help from the U.S. Navy, and there was some issue with the U.S. Navy saying you cannot do this, you must do this. So they worked it out, and they're doing it in cooperation, which is great as a respect to the people. So that was one story. Another interesting thing locally is, once again with the army, they've been asked to help in supplying fresh water. Now, did you have a drought last year? Was it a bad drought?
Well, I don't think it was a particularly different drought than any other drought. We're always a little bit short of water. The water tends to come from Prambury Dam, which is just inland, up to 20 kilometers, or it comes from further south, I think. So there seems to be two major supplies. But from what I was looking at, it appears that the local authorities have been asking the army to look out for new wells and possible reserves of water, which could be used locally. So, yeah, it's been dry.
Yeah, and they're estimating that there's going to be less rains this year than there were in previous years. And the funny thing was, they turned around and said, they're going to use this water from the army school. They've got some training camp down there. They've got training camps all over the place. Yeah. But they were going to do that. But I mean, they're going to borrow that. But logically, it's been an issue. They've been talking about building dams for years. Unfortunately, it displaces people, and land. But with the development of Thailand and development of Hua Hin and the two other tourist locations, they need more water. I mean, hotels, golf courses.
Definitely.
Definitely. Huge amounts of water is used. You can't use salt water on golf courses. So I'm sure they've got a solution for that, where they're treating the water. But it's a difficult one.
Yeah. Usually when it rains, the water just goes on the ground and flushes away out to sea or wherever. Perhaps, some consideration could be given to capturing rainwater and storing it and holding it and using it for watering the grass and other things, rather than using fresh water, which is used a lot, certainly within private properties. And as you say, there's a lot more construction going on now. And in fact, you mentioned a little earlier the fact that perhaps we should have a look at construction around this area and home development. So maybe we can do that during our next chat.
Yes, I'll come on to that in a moment. But what we do in my house in Bangkok, we have huge big jars. Well, not huge, but jars. And we have the guttering, and it fills, and we use that for watering the garden and things like that. Disadvantage of it is you've got to have some movement in the water, so you can put some fish in that, so it eats the lava from mosquitoes. Otherwise, you get mosquitoes and possible dengue. So you put some these little fish in there, and they'll eat the lava.
Hopefully they like a little more than larvae, because around here you get a lot of pigeons and pigeon poop on roofs. So, the rainwater comes down with that. So it's
well, it's for the garden, not for drinking.
Fish,
it's not for drinking.
No, but it's got to be used for the garden. You're right.
So the last story here is about property, and this is not a plug, by the way. This is just an article we saw, and I just thought it was quite interesting. I thought I should give some pointers because I bought my house. Of course, everyone worries about buying a house. So there seems to be a big push. There's new developments all over the place within Hua Hin, and particularly when people are coming along, staying in hotels, they're looking at condominiums. Yeah? So they want to be near the beach, and it's suitable for people who are looking to retire, have a holiday home, etc. Be aware of rental rules, because legally you shouldn't be renting out your condo unless it's for, I think it's more than a month, because otherwise it competes with the hotels. So there's been some discussion about that. So check out that if you're looking to rent out a condo. The other thing is, and what I've found is, there's lots of new developments, but I'm not sure about yourself, Richard. I think a lot of the old developments, sometimes they're better quality builds. They don't look as nice, I must admit. They may not have the same facilities. It depends what you want. But they seem to be better builds. So when we bought my house, we actually bought it and it looked a wreck. Now, in the West, you have somebody come in, cleaning the house, painting the house, preparing it. Thailand does not work that way. It's based on the land. They don't care about the property that's on it. Yeah. So they look at the land size and the cost per talangwa. Check at the municipality, which is the rock bottom price, the land valued price by the government, and then you have the market price. But people don't look at the house. So this is why a lot of Thais don't go and paint the house, pretty it up, etc. for moving in. So best idea is, if you're not getting any engineering background, check for settlement around the house. Is there a big gap between the house and the ground? Because that gets bigger and bigger all the time, depending how long that land has been in situ. Because there's an awful lot of filling of land. So they'll take over rice paddies, they'll fill it, and then what happens, obviously, it drops over the years, and then you get a bigger space in it, yeah? So question is, do you just build your house in stilts and be done with it? Then it doesn't matter, or what? Because
and that's
it also
probably
helps with
a
flooding.
sound idea.
Sorry?
Yeah, and it gives you somewhere to park your car underneath.
Yes, exactly. So be aware of things. Check with people looking to buy houses. Then look at the legalities, because you can't have nominee shareholders setting up a company. You can set up an Uberfunct if you're married to a Thai. Check with a lawyer on how that is all done. I'm not sure what the new situation is. Have you got any idea how people can buy houses now? Because they used to set it up as a company, and if the company's not trading, then you legally can't do that.
Correct.
But you can have 30-year leases.
Yeah?
You can have 30-year leases on that land.
I think that is perhaps the most reliable option for people, is to get themselves a lease if they want to own the property on the land. But if they effectively don't own the land, they'll own the property. But I'm not, too familiar with the latest regulations and laws regarding them. I'm quite settled in my own house, thank you. We're all good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's also the legality of the ownership. So we'll have, if you look at the website from maybe a year or so ago, more than that, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I made a video about how to go about it when you are not married but got a partner, or when you are married. So look at the video, and it's very, very helpful in what I did with the contracts, etc., which was not controversial with my now wife, it was all agreed, so there can't be like, oh, do you not trust me sort of attitude, So have a look at that video, but we're also looking at planning a video with Richard within the next month or so. Okay? All right, Richard, so...
Okay.
Anything else happening?
Yes, school holidays are abound, and kids everywhere. The schools are closing. So...
mine's growing up,
kiddies out
left the nest.
Yeah,
but I miss her a
Well
lot.
done.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I bet. So, yeah, we have a 15-year-old at school and a 20-year-old who's at uni. So our kid is going to be around. So it really is just down to keeping those kids occupied. And Hua Hin's not a bad place to do that. There are
Right.
quite a lot of activities. But, still, it's a little bit of a struggle sometimes, mainly because often, they don't want to get up and get out. They want to look at their iPads or whatever. But I think it's important to get out and do things. Yeah.
Okay.
One final point,
Oh,
complete change of subject. Very, very quickly. Final point. I noticed that the VSS Visa Application Building is going to be moving from the Trendy Building in Bangkok to Rama 9 from the 18th of March. So if you've got to update your passports for lots of different countries, UK, Canada, Australia, and different countries, check that out. There's an article on it in Hua Hin today, and you can also have a look at the VFS website as well.
well, that's good to know because that's not far from me. Okay.
There you are. All right.
All right. Listen, thanks very much, Richard. Have a good week, and until I see you next.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's thank each other and have a great day. Catch you next time.
Okay, all the best. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. If you get any comments, please pass the comments. And also, if you have any suggestions for discussion, that's fine. What'll be coming up is we'll be doing a Paddy report, which has been a while. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Speak to you later. All the best.